the tourism is very important for everything. Tourism is connect the relationship, build the relationship. If I can't take my family to some places, I will not go 3 times, 2 times, because my wife wants to go, my children wants to go, where you go, we want to see, we want to do. So this is, Bangladesh is our country. Sylhet is my birthplace, where I want to go and I want to take my children, I want to take my grandchildren. And we want to create that environment. So, few issues there are. One of them is we want to see there is no antisocial behavior against our children. These people, they live independently in this country. So this is what one of the that. Then another thing is, I talk to many people about heritage museum. Okay, in one museum they can come. In any cities you can go and you can see the heritage museum about the city. And we have history. We have over 600-800 years of histories in Sylhet, from the king to the shrines and all these people. And the beauty which is created the British and Scottish by building hundreds and thousands of tea gardens. And I remember once upon a time somebody told me in one of my station club, which was in Sylhet, built by the British, all the officers, that 14,000 kilometer drivable road within the Sylhet. Now imagine, that's about 50 years ago, or maybe 100 years ago. So this is what we want to see. We want to see some nice hotel, we want to see some nice restaurant, we want to see the street food more hygienical so that they can eat. We want to see, the education, better education where the children, our children, their children can communicate, together. And then the children goes there, they should be able to visit all those places, and a lot of places. And I think Sylhet is one of the best locations for tourism. We've got all the best, greeneries, mountains, waterfall, shrines, everything, and everybody wants to love to go. So this is the way we want to connect from England or from non-resident Bangladeshi all over the world into Sylhet, into Dhaka. And we have a culture, we have a very good, healthy competition in Bangladeshi people have. If somebody is doing well, everybody. I mean, if you look at all the restaurants in England, when I came here, there was hardly few hundred restaurants in England. Now there's over 12,000 restaurants, and everyone is building better than better. So we want to create that healthy competition among our children, so that they can come. And also, you mentioned about Northeast, you mentioned about the children coming to this country for education. I'm a guarantor for maybe at least 20 children. A few days ago, somebody was not getting a visa. They called me, I said, put my name on, I will write to the High Commissioner. And this boy's got a scholarship in Cambridge University, but he can't get the visa. This is another issue. So what we do is whenever we go to British High Commissioner, we appeal to them. When we have a chance to go to the, her office or her residence, I was there 2 weeks ago when the Prime Minister was there. I said exactly the same thing, but this is what our community needs. Now, my main mission is to how we can create a day, non-resident Bangladeshi day, and bring all those children, all those people who love Sylhet into Sylhet, and have a carnival, and bring our leaders into Sylhet and listen to our children what they want, what is the difficulties they see in Sylhet. Things are getting better, and the High Commissioner will tell you, and you can convey this message. Bangladesh, I feel, is getting better. It's one of the international cities, Sylhet, and Sylhet is hi-fi free.
Yes.
So this is my project. Hopefully I'm talking to everybody, and hopefully I'll be successful. So there will be one day a year, thousands of people will go there, and I talked to the mayor, I talked to the minister, and they said that the city will be yours for one day. You can celebrate whichever way you want to. People will be coming from all over the world. So this is my mission, and I think I'll just hand over again back to Abdul Jabbar about the education side. I'm talking to Fariduddin, the Vice Chancellor of University, and he is welcoming the student from or universities or our children to go there and, and create an atmosphere where they can exchange their views. So he's willing to come on our board and work. Deputy Commissioner is there, the Association of Hotel President, the Chamber. We're all working together, and this is where we want to start. Bangladesh in 10 years' time will be the richest country in the world, one of them. So the way it's growing, she will highlight. Thank you. I'll back to
right. Okay. So I think the non-residents day. Obviously, you heard from the inventor of this, right? What we want to do is have a fixed date in the calendar for people to visit Bangladesh. So what they do over there, is endless opportunities. So you could do education, you could do trade, business and trade, you could do music, you could do culture, you could do anything you want to do. But I think if we have a fixed date, it gives a platform for non-resident Bangladeshis to go over there and to pursue whatever interest they've got. So I think it's an absolutely brilliant concept, and we are working on it to make it happen. And the board members have contributed to that paper, and we are in the final stage of putting it out there. So, Your Excellency, when we've got the final proposal, we will share it with you at your office, and we would very much like your support to make that a reality. In terms of the board, there's many mainstream institutions. So we've got the universities, we've got David, who is head of waste management, we've got the museum, we've got the Manchester Airport. The Chamber of Commerce is not formally a member yet, but Susanna is here. I'm going to twist her arm to become a member of this. And also what we've got is mainstream businesses who have got some link in Bangladesh. And I think that's so crucial in terms of progressing the aims and objectives of the mayor. So that is really important. And one of the things, the education is very big, but I heard you say, at least in 2 different meetings, that UK has a different arrangement with India than Bangladesh. And their migrants and workers are able to come to here, but we're not. It's because of some technical issues to do with qualification, to do with standards. So recently myself and Maria went to Salford University to talk to them about their healthcare courses there. And one of the things we want to do with Salford and also Bolton is identifying what is the gap between the qualification, nursing qualification in Bangladesh and the UK, and develop a conversion course so that people from Bangladesh can study that conversion course and then get the recognition to be validated by the UK authorities, and then they can come here to study, or actually more importantly, work in the NHS. And we would need your support, Your Excellency, on that, because I think it's completely unfair that the NHS recruits people from Philippines, from Sri Lanka, from India, but not from Bangladesh. And I think it's important that we open up that opportunity for our people. Because it's just an injustice. Because I think there's 2 things. Firstly, I think we can help the NHS, but secondly, I think we can also help to raise the healthcare standard in Bangladesh through that piece of work. So Eleanor and her colleagues really welcomed us, and we had a really long chat with the Pro Vice Chancellor there, Joe Purvis, about taking that forward. So I don't know, Eleanor, whether you wanted to add any more to that. To that. Sorry.
Yeah, go on. You can. I think I was sorry to interrupt. I think our Manchester Chamber of Commerce would like her to say a few words with the High Commissioner and our Commercial Councillor. They are more interested on the chamber because you have all the connection. How much you know about the greater Manchester has investment in Bangladesh, and how can you help us to get engaged? So can I ask Susanna Cordova to say a few words?
As a Chamber of Commerce, we're always open to establish those relationships with other countries. So more than you don't have to twist my arm because we are already open to the idea to establish those partnerships. And basically, we don't deal directly with investment, but we do more about the export and importing, and we are always facilitating those relationships. Within our chamber and the membership, we already have a growing number of Asian businesses, and we established an Asian business network, which is encouraging the heritage that we have within Greater Manchester. So I'm sure that it will be of interest for our members that already have a strong links with Pakistan, with Bangladesh, to continue developing those links. And for us as a chamber, we say that there is huge potential, as you rightly pointed it out, with Bangladesh showing real business opportunities in both ways, for us to go there, but also to get people here. So for us, it's an important step. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm glad to be here because we are keen to get those links going. So whether it's trade mission, or just getting people together, we are here to actually facilitate those.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you very much. But so far I know Manchester's lot of business houses import lot of textile, ready-made garments from Bangladesh, and then many other things. I say
we have within the food and drink, textiles. I think those are the primary sectors. But having said that, I think there was a bit more interest. I mean, we just heard about education and waste management. So I think there is healthcare is one of the areas where we have some members already, looking beyond the Eurozone and looking just to establish further relationships. So I think there is a huge opportunity right now for us to kind of bring the attention to other markets where there is great elements for trade and investment.
Okay, well, thank you very much. But let me just help you by saying that we need, in Manchester or in England, we need investors from Bangladesh now to create an attention to our commercial council and our High Commission. Very few investment is coming out from Bangladesh to England. Although we can see that India and Thailand, China, Middle East, all over the world, people are coming and investing, because I think England is very reliable investment. Very secure, very well managed. It's not volatile. It's not risky. So I know there is a problem of foreign exchange regulation, because the Bangladeshi taka is not yet open, and the government still thinks there is a risk of taking wealth out of Bangladesh. But that's something we need to see. But unless you bring the investment here, people scared investment taking from here back to Bangladesh. So that's something I think is also very important. Bangladesh people, I know we know that Bangladeshi billionaires, they want to invest, but they can't bring the fund outside the country. And I know there are different ways people bringing funds that people are getting in trouble. But if the government allow, there are to certain extent, there's some fund is available. I can share some information. 20 years ago, India could not bring $100 out of Bangladesh. Out of India. Could not. Now, I think per head they can bring 700,000. So far I know, when I established the bank, I know 700,000 per head for education, for treatment, for buying properties, they can bring officially. Okay. Whereas Bangladesh were thinking of emerging tiger in mid-90s to open up their currency. Till there's nothing happened. So imagine I'm an investor in Bangladesh and I have created a lot of wealth in Bangladesh. There's a lot of cash are flowing about, but I can't bring them back here. If I can bring them back, I can invest, I can build a hotel, I can build these, I can create jobs, I can build a health care, I can bring the nurses. But if I do it, I would like to support my Bangladeshi people to work for me. Like Farhad, like my team says here. At least few people can get a job. So, Your Excellency, that's something is very important. Indians are doing, Pakistanis are doing, not Pakistani, I would say, they are very restricted, but other Thailand is doing. So, and from your experience, that's something we need to see, that if a blue chip company from Bangladesh come here and invest, they would recruit job from our communities, from our children. And our children will see and they will feel proud. That thing is not happening. And that's something we need to talk. I went there, I put up industries, I set up and I created work, but they're not coming here. That's not fair. And I created a lot of cash generating, but I can't bring the cash. So this is something the government need to look into it. So you know what I'll do is I'll open up the floor to you. You can speak and you can ask us any question. And if you have any question, please come forward and pick up from her speech, and we can all share. But the floor is open, and I'll hand over to Her Excellency to deliver her speech. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And once again, I guess you were waiting for us, for me rather. So we were at the Conservative Party conference, and I've come here to, you can see my tag here. For the last 3 days, I've been at the conference, and today, in fact, I have compromised on listening to the leader's speech, which is you had to enter there by 9:30. So I'm not listening to Boris's speech, I'm here. So you can understand what is my priority. I thought now it's going to be much more useful to come to Seamark, to see Iqbal, who's actually much more than OB. I think it's very unfair, what can I say, recognition of what he contributes to both the United Kingdom and to Bangladesh. So to begin with, I'd like to applaud him, so we What's important, this person employs 3,500 people around the world, not just in the UK. He's contributing to the economy of Thailand, Vietnam, China, India, and definitely Bangladesh. And everything that he said, what I can see that I thought that I'm going to meet some business people. Actually, Iqbal Bhai's interest I've seen is in education. He's actually focusing on the future. And this is a very forward-looking person who's thinking how to take his son to Bangladesh and how to make him feel that he can actually enjoy himself in Silat. So I think that's extremely important. And this forward-looking vision, this so I just want to pay a tribute to you, sir, first of all, for achieving what you have achieved, being a first-generation Bangladeshi who had traveled, who were born in Bangladesh and come here. So I can't have a better example from any community of how much he's achieved, and we are just so proud of you. And and many British Bangladeshi diaspora. We have officially 600,000 now, and I have to fight for it because. When I served here about 15 years ago in a High Commission, it was 500,000, I told you yesterday, and it still was 500,000. So, it's like whitening black money. I said that no, you have to go back to your census, last census, and the 2011 census says that we have 600,000. So now that's the official that have accepted. In all official communications, I've written to the Foreign Office to have this officially acknowledged that you cannot write 500,000 anymore, you have to write 600,000. But we know that it could be 800,000 very well right now. And what our very efficient acting assistant high commissioner, our assistant high commissioner would be here soon, but she told me that large number of, so you see, the assistant high commissioner in Manchester looks after north east and northwest of England, as well as Scotland. And there's a large number of mobility people who moved, well, not British Bangladeshis, European Bangladeshis who have moved from, Italy, then Spain and Portugal to Scotland, because they felt that London was highly competitive, so they wanted to settle somewhere they'll have more job opportunities. And she's saying that about more than 200,000 have moved. Mm-hmm. So I think if you just add that's the figure she does. Is it true?
Probably it's true.
Probably.
Near 1 million.
In total, it could be nearly 1 million.
In total, well, at least I'll be happy when they officially acknowledge 800,000 British Bangladeshis. So I'd like to whiten more. Okay, so first of all, thank you, Iqbal Bhai, for giving me this opportunity, and I'm just so pleased to meet everyone here, particularly Salford University, then University of Bolton, and the Greater Manchester Authority, as well as the Chamber, and of course, I think I missed somebody. And the airport, absolutely, transport and airport. So, in fact, last night I met the Transport Secretary, and that's why we come here, just to meet them and just to speak to them for 5 minutes, which we don't get in London. It's just so difficult. So, This is the 50th anniversary. I'd like to start with that. This is the 50th Golden Jubilee of Bangladesh's independence, and this is also the 50th anniversary of Bangladesh-UK diplomatic relations. So, somebody spoke of heritage. We do have a heritage relationship with the UK. However, that is quite underplayed. It doesn't seem to be very important to the British government. And I say straight on their face that I think if we want to change relationship on our 50th anniversary and go to the next phase of our relationship, this last 50 years, we have looked at how, during 1971 War of Liberation, as you know, just one more example will set this discussion. The correct tone is, number one is undermining the British Bangladeshi community, but that's how it is, and undermining Bangladesh. And when I first had a meeting with a Foreign Office, again they told us that I came to learn that Bangladesh is with Pakistan and India desk, whereas there's a separate desk for India, and then under that Indian Ocean in India, and under that is Sri Lanka, Maldives, and they just fail to understand that Bangladesh is the owner of Bay of Bengal. We have the largest share of Bay of Bengal, and we are a literal country. We are an Indian Ocean IRA member. So I objected to that, and I said that why are we with Pakistan and Afghanistan? We have, get your geography right. We were in 1947, the British thought that we are there, but we were not there. There was the entire Indian subcontinent between us. So I said that officially you have to remove us from Pakistan, Afghanistan. This is the perception. Our community is not looked as Bangladeshi, they're looked as Muslim. Whenever I'm called by the number 10 Downing for any kind of consultation, they have many advisors. So during COVID actually, they called us. Every time I'm called, I'm always called with the Muslim countries and ambassadors, which I seriously object. And I said that, look, you cannot identify Bangladesh or Bangladesh community as Muslims, and that is ridiculous in the 21st century. And it's extremely, parochial. But you have to identify as a Bengali British or Bangladeshi British. And our ethnicity and our ethnic roots must be highlighted rather than our religious roots. So this is another problem. So now I'm happy to report that we are in Indian Ocean desk since 2020. So this is perceptual problems. And so coming back, this is the 50th anniversary. And I think the fact that UK and India, the two countries that have allowed us to open our diplomatic mission in London and in Kolkata. Kolkata was 18 April and UK was 1st of August. This shows that they had actually recognized us and they were supporting the Bangladesh War of Liberation. Only these two countries. So we have a very, very special relationship. And our father of the nation, the founding father of Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, he visited the UK on 8th of January. So the war continued. He declared Bangladesh's independence. He was arrested, taken to Pakistan jail. He was there for 9 months. And 9 months we fought the liberation war of Bangladesh. On 6th of December, Indian forces entered Bangladesh. On 16th of December, Pakistan surrendered to the Joint Command of Bangladesh and India. I just told you this history to understand. So in 1947, the British left us with Pakistan. Now, Pakistan was the first Islamic republic, one has to understand. And of course, it never saw the face of democracy during those days. I don't want to comment present, but I'm talking about 47 to 71. It was always military dictators. And therefore, we were subjugated, we were discriminated as a race. We were Bengalis, and they were Pathans. So, there was a racial difference. There was a cultural gap. No one is to blame here, but, the system was such. So what happened in those 23 years, we had one leader, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and he started fighting for the rights of the Bengalis because we were discriminated everywhere, we were actually oppressed. And cultural differences, they wouldn't allow us to sing Tagore songs. And how can you live without Tagore songs? So, we sing and dance, and that is not acceptable to them. So these differences led to, and of course in 1970 there was elections, and in that election Sheikh Mujibur Rahman received his party, and he received the highest votes. It was a majority, it was a landslide victory for the Awami League, but they didn't transfer the power. So Sheikh Mujibur Rahman could have been the first Bengali Prime Minister of Pakistan, and they didn't allow that. So after that, they sent troops, and there was genocide committed in Bangladesh on 25th of March. 26th of March, he was compelled to declare independence of Bangladesh. He was arrested. So during this 9 months, actually, including the Bangladesh concert, Concert for Bangladesh that was organized by George Harrison, of the Beatles and Pandit Ravi Shankar. So that shows a lot of sympathy, for Bangladesh during 1971. So we always are grateful. And 8th of January, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman visited. He was released. The first place he wanted to come is London. And why? because of the British Bangladeshis, the diaspora. They played an integral role in internationalizing the Bangladesh genocide. So there were these demonstrations at Trafalgar Square and Hyde Park. Well, a British Bangladeshi, people from Birmingham led it. British Bangladeshi community from London. There was a Central Action Committee, and many British politicians, academics, and just friends. Like Iqbal Bhai's neighbor who joined Iqbal Bhai, like that. So British people, they demonstrated with us to recognize Bangladesh, stop the genocide, and release Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Bangabandhu. So this is how the relationship started. However, like I said, in 1947, we were first decolonized. We thought we were getting decolonized, but then we actually were decolonized in 1971. So Bangladesh, what happened is when India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, even Nepal was recognized as, jewel in the crown. Of course, India is the jewel in the crown, but there are these little gems that they had liberated. So Indian High Commission's residence is in Kensington Gardens. Nepal got a free residence. These are residences given as gift. Indian High Commission premise is a gift. Just like US Embassy was, which they actually sold very dumbly. I don't know why did they sell it in Grosvenor Square. That they got for $1 after the Second World War. Anyway, so many of these embassies, even Sri Lankan High Commission, which is in St. John's Wood, they were all gifted by British government, but Bangladesh didn't get any of that. So we were disenfranchised and we didn't receive, because we didn't even come to the picture. We were just taken over by Pakistan, so we looked at that. Then in 1971, when we were finally decolonized and we became independent, we were completely destroyed. Our economy was minus 14% GDP at that point. We were completely destroyed. We started from there, and at that point, UK obviously looked at Bangladesh as one of the poorest countries in the world, which had no resources. Everything was destroyed, no industry, nothing, and which needed foreign aid. So the relationship started with aid. And definitely UK's DFID have played a very integral role in supporting Bangladesh, and therefore we're very grateful for this historic heritage relationship. And if you look at Bangladesh's, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was assassinated in 75, and for 15 years there was military autocracy in Bangladesh. So all those, fragile state characteristics have been there. From the